What is the question that talented tiny business owners tend to ask me the most? Who can do their social media for them? And that answer is complicated. And there is a lot about that. The short side of it, though, is that it is very expensive to hire people to do your social media. Why? Because it is a time-consuming task, and people will charge, obviously, a living wage for doing it. It's not always the answer for you to hire it out. What you can do, though, is have a plan and action for doing your own social media. If you are a talented tiny business owner, you are doing all of your own marketing, and doing your social media is really one part of that. So it's not as simple as just handing out the social media and having your marketing done. You're still doing a lot of it anyway. Let's talk in the next 5 minutes about what you can do to start to make it a little bit easier as running the one-person marketing show. The first is to plan. I like to take a look at about a quarter, about 3 months at a time, no more than that. I like to map out what the upcoming holidays are, what my upcoming perhaps product or service releases are, all of the things that I know will be happening in that quarter. It's why I like to do that in a quarter, not a year, because sometimes with a year, things are too far out. However, if you do know things a year in advance out, it can greatly help you to be aware of those. When I was in the product business as a jewelry designer, I was working really on the next quarter from where I was now in my release schedule. So you may actually be a quarter ahead as you are planning. But by planning out a quarter to know what's coming along, you then can once a month spend a shorter amount of time putting together that specific plan for the weeks that are coming. At this point, on a personal level, I spend about an hour once a month planning things out. I have an actual calendar that I have in front of me, and I actually write out every single one of my questions that I'm going to ask in my Facebook group, which I post daily. I actually write what the subject of the video that I'm going to make for the next month are. I actually write those at a quarter at a time, and then I put them into my plan for each month. So by planning out, you're basically breaking up that work into chunks. Now, when I have my monthly plan, I have sort of my big ideas. I know the dates that are coming up. I know the releases. I know things like that. And then I work into the subjects that I want to bring up. Each week, I start to look at, okay, what days am I going to be posting on? What content is going to come out, on and on and on. The second part is to be strategic. Now, I often suggest that you have 3 social media platforms that you are focusing on. The first is where you're going to be anyway, and the other 2 are where your people are. So you're not trying to handle all of them. You, of course, can have your name, your handle on all of them and just put your profile up there, but you don't have to be posting. The 3 that you are posting on, though, you should be regularly engaging and regularly posting. Now, you may, in your quarterly and monthly plan, put out that, let's say, every single Tuesday, you're going to post a video. Every single Thursday, you're going to share your blog post that you've published. Things like that can be your constants, your big rocks in your weekly schedule, and then you can add the other things in there later. It's often great to have 10 to 15 buckets, so different categories that you're drawing content from, to know what areas that you can get information from to kind of be engaging with your people. So it could be something like, you could have selfies, your dog, your products, the behind the scenes, on and on and on and on. The other part of being strategic is to also have one regular type of content that you're creating. You could end up with lots of them, but focusing on really getting one going at a time before the next one starts is great for your sanity if you're a one-person show. I, right now, create a weekly video, but I really create that weekly video that you're watching to be part of a blog post that then I can share and post into other areas and syndicate. So using one type of content, that video creates blog posts, it creates social media posts, it creates a variety of information. I repurpose as much as I can. The third thing that you want to be doing after planning and being strategic is to schedule. Schedule out as much as you can. I spend 1 day per week actually scheduling out all of the questions that I post daily in my Facebook group. I spend that time making sure that my content is ready, let's say from that video. I have all of the graphics for the different platform. I have the transcription ready for the captions. Everything is ready so that when it comes to the day of posting, it's either already scheduled or I have it all together. And then of course, besides scheduling out your posts or your content, I have scheduled time to work on my marketing. Remember that marketing is beyond social media, but social media is a great way to, I like to kind of call it the holy trinity of marketing for talented tiny business owners, to keep in touch with the people that you network with. So you want to be making sure that you are networking, you're using social media to keep in touch with your network, and then you are creating content so that you have something to share on social media with that network. The three of them work very well together for talented tiny business owners. If you want to find out more or how this can apply to your business, you can always reach out to me, Sierra Bailey, of Doers, Shakers, Makers. But I will be back, as I always am, next week to give you a business tip and to appear in front of you on this video. Because why? It's part of my regularly scheduled content and marketing plan. Have a fantastic week.